Welcome, guys, to another good show, and I hope I have some of my good viewers call in with some questions or comments. Look, guys, today is the first month, 21st. Put this down because you'll never see this date again for another 100 years. But today is a very important day for all of us, whether you voted for the man that got sworn in yesterday or not. It's time for this country to unite and be together so we can see our future together. Guys, look, I want to thank my lovely wife, children, grandchildren, black and white, Sister Khadijah, my director, Brother Shahid, Brother Jay, Brother William, Brother Jacob, AOC, my viewers, and my number one fan, Reggie Jefferson. As I look back into this country's history, and no offense to my white people, and see the definition of patriotism, black people who put this country, look, Carl, you're going to have to wait up, who put this country that refuse to see them as humans first. It brings pain that they had to die for their freedom, but also brings joy to see their prediction of this country's ignorance come true. The great Malcolm X said, by any means necessary, and died to show his meaning. And this is where the living must give his words life. That was him. And now that we done put the Democrats back in power, the House and the Senate, let's see what they do for us now. But guys, we come to a point in our life where we got to do what we have to do, no matter what. We're going to offend a lot of people. Some of them are in our own cultures. But right is right, wrong is wrong. And we, the people, must be the one that witnessed this. We must come together with all our flaws and try to correct them. Because our history has always shown the answers to this country's destruction. Just so happens that all our black founding fathers had all the answers to their problem that they're having today. But being that they were black, they didn't listen to them. Look, guys, every day you wake up is black history. From building this country, wars, political parties, sports, and entertainment. We as black people, it's our responsibility to make it better. This is my First Amendment to share the truth. The words I use is the white man dictionary. The facts I give are in their history book. My party is people, no matter the color. My religion is life. My vision is liberty and justice to see happiness. If you hear anger in my voice, it's what a free man sounds like trying to be civil. Today's black founding father is Malcolm X, born May 19, 1925 in Omaha, Nebraska. He was incarcerated for 10 years before becoming the most respected man in this world. He was assassinated February 21st, 1965. He was shot 21 times by his fellow Muslims. And guys, this is why we got to watch the religious group that we follow. Because religion has always been this country's confusion. And I don't knock nobody's religion. But if you preach any kind of hate towards anybody, your religion is fake. And that's why today we got to try to understand one another. Because like I said, I do not belong to no party nor religion. People is my religion. And we as people must act like humans to become better for others to see us. Now, I want to make a few comments on our state capital, our country's capital that happened 2 weeks ago that got so many people so-called surprised. You know, when Malcolm X said that the chicken had came home to roost back in the day, they took it out of character and climate. What he was saying was the climate of hate. The result of something that you do to others will come to you. For 4.5 years, this country has aided and abetted this climate of hate that incited others to pursue it. Make America Great was never to unite us. This Southern strategy has been used from the Nixons to the Reagans. Trump wasn't the problem, his enablers were. And now they're seeking their patriotic immunity. They shouted out 1776, not knowing the meaning of independence. It says that all men are created equal. Life, liberties, and happiness are our rights. In any form of government that is destructive to us, we have the right to abolish it, not destroy it. You know, we listen to Biden's great speech of other presidents. The thing is, I want to see him do the action of these so-called great presidents before him didn't do. You know, it's all right to talk it, but it's time to walk it. And don't feel safe, black folks, that we got Democratic people in the office that got the same strategies of the Republicans. This is how they've been controlling us for the longest, with their rules and regulation made up by this little book called the Constitution. And their job is to, so say, balance it. This book was created for the rich people, the one who stole all the land from the Indians, the one who took property from people. And then what was left over, they gave it to other immigrants for them to fight over it. Until today, we still doing the Constitution laws of fighting to see who was right. You know, two of the founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson and Edison and Adams, they converted 40 years later, saying what they had done with this book was not trickling down to the public, the people, the government. They call it democracy. And it's up to us to keep fighting for it in order for us to get what's ours. But don't be fooled with Kamala and Biden. You know, as they got sworn in yesterday, we must remind them of the vows they put to the people who put them in there. Biden with his crime bill that incarcerated more blacks than Trump ever disrespected. Kamala Harris with her persecution of blacks when she was a DA in California. United States is 5% of the world's population and has 25% of the prisons in this country. The 13th Amendment gave us freedom, but they enslaved us to the states. You know, this wouldn't be right if we didn't put the people that's being incarcerated for some of the charges they have. For what some of these people that so say making legislatures on us, breaking all the laws of this book, and we're doing nothing to them. You know, we got Trump out of office, but we still have a bunch of these Republicans who got the same theory of Trump. It's to keep us divided while they protect their corporation that sponsors them. And to all the white folks who voted for Trump, you know, we as black people, we can tell you it's not good for y'all. Because we done saw it from time and time again with both parties we done belong to. Nothing was ever done for us. All was told to us was wait, 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 wait. And now today we still waiting. You know, Biden sworn the first 100 days he would overturn all kind of things. We got yet to see that. Like I say, the speeches was great from other presidents, but now it's time for him to make up the actions that these other presidents didn't do. And if you really want to unite the people, give us what we deserve. That means minimum wage is going up to $15, health care, education, all the above. This is how you get this country back to what it's supposed to be. It was never great, but we can make it better. So all you Trump fanatics and all the ones who think your country has been stolen, this never was your country. It's for everybody. You must learn how to share. And the ones you try to protect is the same one that is using you. Trust me, we know. We was Republicans. So if you don't listen today, try to understand what we said yesterday. Because now you are the new black Negroes. You have to wake up and try to listen to us. As I said, I go back into our history. And all the true patriots of these great black people who learned their words, who learned their book, who learned their laws, started fighting for their freedom. They didn't have weapons. Education was their weapon. Everything that was said in this book, they pursued it. And this was 60, 70 years ago, guys. And today we still got to carry this book to make them understand the words and the meaning that they said was for America. So when you call yourself a true patriot and you didn't fight for this country, go look up what patriotism means. It's fighting for your country, not for a man. So guys, if you want questions or anything, call me at 366-8950. And we can try to get this started to see if we can make all our rights get civil. But guys, we got to understand everything that we say. We must know the meaning. We must understand their wording, everything. This book is a great start, but go back to our past. Go back to our ancestors that came to this country with none of their history being brought with them. You know, we wasn't the first one in this country. The Indians couldn't survive. They had to get Africans because they was in the desert, landscaping, surviving with everything they have. Yeah, call a question or comment.
Hey, what's up, Mr. Bruce? I got a couple questions.
What's up, Lil Reg?
All right, Bruce. Let me ask you, what good has come out of the last 4 years?
Well, you got to see a dictator. You know, we always heard about him in other countries. And how much the people that followed Trump, their history is still in them. And the ignorance of them not wanting to change to make it better. So it was a great 4 years, even though a lot of people suffered. A lot of people died. But when you look back into our black history and see all the great black men who died for their ignorance. So it was a good 4 years.
Well, I got another question. If it's so hard to bury a child, what should we do to change their future?
But first we got to tell them the truth. That they wasn't the only ones struggling in this life. You know, we got to bring them to the Whitney plantation in Wallace, Louisiana. Show them that kids younger than them was getting their head chopped off for freedom. And most of all, we got to let them know our ancestors had it way worse than what they call themselves going through.
Well, I got another question. Why is it that we turn to the wrong people for advice in our communities when they're the ones making bad decisions, making decisions to sabotage our well-being?
Well, you're saying like us as black folks always go and ask somebody else about our culture?
Correct.
Well, first of all, I mean,
And what should we be doing?
well, first of all, it's lack of knowledge. We must know who we are, what we stand for, what we do for this country. And stop being scared to hear the truth from somebody who knows it. You know, my biggest prediction to my life was my grandparents and my parents who told me what I needed to hear. You know, you can't go to somebody who haven't come from your culture and ask them about your culture. You know, you got to get with somebody that know about it. You know, it's like somebody who don't stay in my hood telling me what I need to be doing in my hood. You know, most older people would call it community, but now it's hoods. So until we start doing that, I mean, we gonna stay stuck. And you know, like if you had heart problems, I don't think you'd go to a foot doctor, right?
Right.
So get the right answer, but get the answer that's gonna fit your question. But get it from somebody that come from where you've been or trying to go.
Do you think we can get the communities to be better than how they used to be?
Reg, you're a free man. Yeah, you can talk up. You don't have to whisper. Talking like you're in school.
But you heard my last question?
I'm trying to hear it. Say it.
Do you think we can get the communities to be better than how they used to be?
Oh, no, we'll never see that. But we can make it better. I mean, Malcolm X said it the best. We cannot accept others until we accept our own self. You know, we got to believe in ourselves that we can do better. And no man is my problem or your problem. If you're trying to become a man or a woman, take on your problem with the right solution. I mean, we too many go to excuses instead of solutions. You know, the first thing you hear when things not going right for the black people is, oh, the white man doing this. No, the white man don't do nothing to you that you don't allow. But when you start believing in yourself, that's when self start believing in it. And it is your life. If you let anybody take your belief, you're finished. Now, a lot of the things I'm telling you, a lot of people won't allow that because they think that's too harsh. And that's where we go wrong at. What else, Mr. Jefferson?
What do you think was the cause? What do you think was the downfall for black-owned businesses?
Well, like I know,
like the little small mom and pop stores.
Oh, the ones that's in our neighborhood, well, our hoods now, not neighborhood, our hoods. Well, what happened was that, you know, we had economics, but we didn't have the education to go with it, how to make things come back and bring something back with it. You know, Booker T. Washington, I remember saying that he wanted to trade our political rights for our economic rights. But Malcolm X said, the only way we could bring things back to our neighborhood was to education. Education was our passport to our future. And that if you're planning for tomorrow, you must prepare for it today. And then you couldn't say it better. You know, when you get into something that means prepare for it, study, get to know the ins and outs. It's not the size of the business that makes the person. It's the business that the person brings to the community.
Why do black people always adopt other people's culture?
Well, when we was kidnapped and brought to this country, we had no choice but to adopt other people's culture. You know, we didn't know where we came from. I mean, our ancestors knew, but I mean, they was killed off or died off. But I mean, today we have a choice. And a lot of us black folks done got so comfortable with it, we happy with it. We don't try to evolve to do better. So that's our biggest downfall, is not trying to change to see the true truth of things.
With this change that just happened, what do you think about the president and vice president? Because didn't she call him a racist before?
You say the change that just happened?
Yes.
Well, look, change has been happening. I mean, we had Barack and Biden 4.5 years ago. Nothing changed. And now we got Sonny and Cher, Biden and Kamala. You know, you got you, babe. The thing is, you know, Biden, well, the country needed Biden to convince the corporation to sponsor him to become president, to keep everything the same. But they needed somebody, not pure black. They need somebody that was mixed with some other culture, which Kamala says she mixed with a multi of them, but they call it Asian. So with those two cultures, black and Asian, she was used to get the poor and middle class blacks and Asian to vote for her. Now, that don't mean nothing gonna change, but it's up to us, the people, all of us, to stay on their necks, to give us all what they said they was gonna do to help everybody. That's what we got to do. Look, Reg, call right back. I got my lovely wife calling, all right?
All right.
Well, she hung up. Go ahead on, Reg. You can call back if you have time. But guys, I mean, we can't depend on these two new people to so say do what we need to do. They are our public servants. They are the ones supposed to be listening to us. They are the ones that got to do their job. We done done our job by putting them in there. Now their job is to give us all what we deserve and more. Yeah, little Reg, what's up?
All right. Why do you think people still follow Trump after all he's destroyed for them?
Well, perfect example. I mean, us as black people, we've been following the Democrats for how long? Since the 60s, hoping that they would do something for us. So, I mean, I don't blame the Trump supporters, but I mean, if they would take it from us, I mean, Trump not gonna do nothing but use them. So, you know, take it from people who've been used by both parties. Look, Reg, I got another caller coming in. Call back if you got another question. Hey, what's up, Brother Jay?
What say, Mr. Kevin, great show. Again, you're hitting on all the cylinders, you know, and, you know, I can't think of someone to be so much like-minded. And they got a lot of people like that, which you open up and which you discuss. Because I had some discussion with some other people about we want to accept something and celebrate. We want to wear our chucks and pearls and that's it. And we want to celebrate the day and think everything's all right. Listen, the first thing that the people who helped put him in office should have pushed him to sign those executive orders that are going to affect their community. The stuff that they have been trying to do for so many years. That's the stuff that motivated them to go to the polls and put Biden and Harris over the top. Such as those policing reform issues that Trump and those devils and those evil Republican bastards that they got serving in a reverse. Those things that you were hitting on all cylinders, man, and we got to hold him out, his feet to the fire. Because like I tell Sister Rashonda on the show, you got to take care of one devil at a time. Listen, the other issue I want to bring up is Clay Higgins. Now, Clay Higgins, again, and he's going to come to mind because he's an idiot. Because he's not really, I don't think he has any belief system anyway, other than the
drinking.
Upside down. Like,
drinking is his best interest.
When he spoke, and he spoke before the Oath Keepers. Now, if the Oath Keepers are classified now because they arrested their leader and charged him with a conspiracy charge, I don't know if that's ever gonna go anywhere because you know these people they got connections with the court and law enforcement all over the place. Where Clay Higgins spoke before that group a couple of years ago, that group is classified as a terrorist group. Well, Why isn't the FBI or the Western District looking at Clay Higgins for be one of the conspirators to send the people to rush on the Capitol? Here's the third thing, Mr. Kevin. Show you how evil these people think. Now, you got the police chief of Youngsville who tested positive for COVID-19, and he said he was going to, when you saw the interview, he said, yeah, COVID-19 got the best of me. I didn't take it seriously. And he went on to work, and he got in a little bit more serious condition, and he had to actually close the police department. Well, he infected one of his workers. Now, shouldn't there be some kind of repercussion when people do things like that, knowingly expose you to a dangerous communicable disease? Didn't they pass laws for HIV if you knowingly expose your sexual partner or anyone with HIV, you subject to be prosecuted? That should apply in the same way. It's not the issue of that's a disease, Mr. Kevin, that we don't know we could have, and we could you could accidentally pass it on to someone. But when you knowingly do something, like in the case of this police chief in Youngsville, these people are getting away with a lot of stuff. And what I think, and my conspiracy theory mindset go come in on your show, as long as black folks are dying, and I'm going to say this, Mr. Kevin,
say it.
It's okay for them to not use no mask. Now, it remains to be seen if they go wear masks when they travel in and out the state or travel, interstate travel, or they go travel on a plane or train, because, Biden signed that executive order, make sure there's a mask mandate on federal property and when you travel. So I predict, Mr. Kevin, the old keeper's mindset, people going to get their guns and say, nobody ain't going to make us wear no damn mask. That's my comment. Thank you so much, Mr. Kevin.
And thank you, Jay. But look, they got a lot of ignorant white people. But a lot of them that got that ignorance got sense too. And the thing that get me with the chief of Youngsville, they make their own rules and laws. I mean, if you go to Youngsville, it's the great white city. And the thing is, they got their own court system, they got their own police system, they got everything that's for them. Remember, Ross's is right in the middle of Youngsville. Ross is the man who catered to Donald Trump and then tried to apologize to people. I was a Ross shopper, even though they was high, he was right by the way, but now I drive an extra 3 miles just so he don't get my money. That's the way you protest these business that protests, that encourage, incites hatred for others. Don't let your money go there. And the thing with Biden, to get rid of this police killings that they do to unarmed blacks and all that, he don't have to drop the funds, but drop the qualified immunity that they know they can't get sued. And for the white folks who don't understand, blue lives do matter, but look what black lives cost you after you kill them. It's us, the taxpayers, you too. The police union supports them, but they don't sue the police union. They sue the city. Our taxes go up, white and black. And that's what we got to make all these police departments understand, that until we make them drop that qualified immunity, you're going to see a lot of these racist cops that got problems with a different culture. Now, they got a problem with different culture of black men, not black women. They can't stand black men for some reason. But the thing is, they love black women, and it's been passed on from their history on. But until we drop that qualified immunity, nothing's going to never change, because as long as they know they can kill innocent blacks and don't have nothing be done to them but get media coverage, they're going to keep doing it. But let them know they could be sued by those families that they take a loved one out of. You're going to see them coming with more respect to you. As I see a lot of people in a lot of the white talk shows and a lot of the so-called media acting surprised about Trump and his people rioting, not protesting, rioting the Capitol and saying, we didn't know that was happening. In the last 4 years, you've been covering these so-called Proud Boys, the white ones and all of them. You're part of that incitement. Hey, lovely wife, sorry for the missed call.
That's okay, Mr. Kevin. I have a couple of comments to make. One, you said Trump in the White House was great. That was good for the country. I have to completely disagree with you.
That's
that
your
was
opinion.
Horrific. That was horrible.
Correct.
That was a disgrace. I don't care that I'm a black person. I still feel that was a disgrace to all of us as a person.
Not me.
Another, and you've made that clear, and I just
All
want
right.
to clarify how I feel. You're
Okay.
entitled to your opinion.
Correct. Go ahead.
Okay. Secondly, y'all referred to the hood. It was once a neighborhood, but we're no longer neighborly. So
Correct.
they cut it short and
Made it hood.
which is horrible because people need to try to bring back the neighborhood again and come together.
Not coming back.
Okay, well, we can try. We can be hopeful. Okay. One thing I do want to say, when you had a caller, Mr. Jefferson, that called in and he wanted to ask about, like, things that happened with Trump, and you and I discussed this, and you did ask me to call in and make this comment. It's going to be a little bit lengthy, so I hope your other callers be patient with me. The conservative Christian republics that voted Trump in and was supporting him, saying he was God sent, I'd like for them to answer this question. 4 years later, after he was in there, and of course he's been booed out, kicked out, he's fired, abortion is still legal. Gay couples are still getting married. There's no 2,000-mile-long concrete border wall to keep the Mexicans out. Our allies, which we desperately need, no longer trust us. Our country is in tatters with an 8% unemployment rate. 390,000 Americans, it may be even more by now, by the end of today, are dead of COVID-19. Half of our churches are closed. The other half are half empty because they have to sit 6 feet apart. Family members and once close friends won't even speak to each other no more. And that's my case, too, because Trump brought some of those demons out that I didn't know existed.
That was always there.
Unarmed, and I understand that, unarmed black people are still laying dead in the streets. The GOP leadership is still divided. 2 weeks ago, our Capitol was stormed and terrorized by homegrown terrorists. Our POTUS has been impeached twice for high crimes and misdemeanors. So how they think that God sent worked out for them? The only thing I can say that he possibly did positive was expose our enemies, which we're going to call them frenemies, since we thought they were our friends. He exposed them to us.
And that's the greatness that he done for this country.
Well, I'm not even going to say that was great.
That was
I'm just saying
make America great. Make them come out the closet and hate.
He made them come out the closet. They still exist, and we still tattered. So I think that was just horrific. Again, I wore a shirt honoring Kamala. Her name is Kamala Harris yesterday because I had so much pride in knowing that sister, that educated sister, is holding that position. Everybody is putting those positions to be a token. However, that she represented us proudly. Now, what she did when she was an attorney, she did what she needed to do for her job. I've been in a position where people may have looked at me the same way, saying she put away black men or whatever.
But you cannot compare yourself to her because you help people. Simple as that. Don't put yourself in that division right there.
Okay.
Because a lot of your clients did come back and say you helped them, not hurt them. Okay.
Most of my clients come back and say that they still look for me today as a.
Well, okay. So don't compare yourself to Kamala, please.
But I'm gonna just say, okay. But I felt pride watching her take that oath and to know that my 5 soon to be 5 granddaughters, could hold that position as well. To let them know that there is always hope with proper education.
Well, I think you are their hope, and you are the role model that's going to push them to do better. You know, we don't need somebody to be on a platform that so-called represent black people, but do other things towards black people. So
No. She should represent the entire United States.
Correct.
So should Biden, and so should that fabulous black man that I have so much respect for, Barack Obama, and his wife Michelle. They are the epitome of elegance and grace.
Correct.
So they would be unjust if they would only represent black America. They are to represent America as a whole.
Well,
as these two people did. Now, they can only do as much as they could possibly do. But nevertheless, you asked for callers to call in with questions or comments.
correct. And I appreciate that. No. I appreciate that.
Okay.
And thank you for calling. But guys, until the black people that so-called representing and making other black people proud do what they say they're going to do, that's when I give them my pride to be represented by them. You know, Barack Obama, yeah, he was a good president, but he didn't do nothing for black people. He didn't stop the murdering and came up with a task force to stop the cops from killing black kids, unarmed kids. He didn't do none of that. He could have done more. And that's the thing that, you know, white America want us to see and play like we're so proud of, to see somebody of color up there doing the same thing that's been done since this creation of the Constitution and laws was started. You know, I'm not giving my pride and praise to these people because you work for the people, not the corporations, not your parties. You know, and it shouldn't be a party of Republican or a party of Democrat. It should be a party of people. If you're trying to unite and do this thing for all people. And you know, it's good that you saw other blacks on that platform, but it was only 2 days. Let's see what they do in the next 100 days. That's going to show exactly what they represent. So we can't just keep jumping on a wagon that we think going where we want to go, and then 50 days down the road, we be looking like, well, where are we going? We got to stop that as black people. You know, it's good to believe in something, but you must believe in yourself first and understand what you mean to yourself in this country and your grandchildren, because that's who I do things for. My grandchildren to see better life than what I have saw. What's up, Lil Reg? All right, you're a free man. You're a free man. Talk up.
Why do you think we still allow these elderly people to make decisions for our country?
You talking about our senators and so-called party members who look like they should be in a nursing home? All I can say is that it's called nepotism, that they refuse to let the powers go and put it in a younger hand that might have a better vision. And a lot of times we do need older people's vision, but to guide and control the younger person's vision, that way we can get to where they at. But in order for this country to really change, I mean, they got to have true diversity, not putting black people who think like the white people they're working on the side of. You know, I heard so much of praising of these people till it don't even make sense, you know. Biden created a law bill that incarcerated more blacks than Trump ever disrespected. Pamela, she prosecuted more blacks than anybody ever saw. So we got to come together and recognize who we are and what we represent, because if we follow their little tails, we're going to keep on getting the short end of the sticks. Oh, so Sister Khadijah, hey, how you doing?
Hey, okay, yourself, Brother Kevin, Bumpy Tradi. Oh, I should be calling you a little bit of Dr. Phil as we speak.
No, it's Mr. Kevin.
Okay, but this is what I wanted to say too. I agree so much with term limits. We got to stop those doggone term limits, because these are old people, and nothing wrong with our old people, because I'm up there too. in my 60s. But, you know, there's got to be something else than y'all continuously trying to keep power circulating among your family members, you know.
Well, there's nepotism.
I wanted to also mention, Mr. Kevin, is that, remember, Master G with the NFAC, I can't remember, with the Not Blank Around Coalition. You know, he had the FBI coming against him for something that they thought he'd done by picking up a rifle and looking and claiming that he aimed it at one of the FBI agents that's on top of the roof, you know.
Well, Sister Khadijah, look, we needed Brother Jay and his black militia the other day at the Capitol. But, you know, that's what we needed. But, you know, he had too much power, so that's why they had to dethrone him. I mean, the charges they got on him, that 5 white officers say that he pointed at an officer, that's bogus charges. That's to defund him. That's all it is.
Oh, yeah. And now you had the real criminals who went up, did their little resurrection over there at the Capitol, at the United States, apparently their house. You know, they already had bond money. You know, so they were able to get out right when they got arrested. But my point, what I really want to complain about is not the fact that they took over the Capitol, it's the fact that it cost the taxpayers, citizens, over $500,000 to disinfect the White House. What in the hell was in the White House?
White people. So, I mean, you know, plus Corona. Some of these people had Corona. So this is the thing that the other America that Dr. Martin Luther King said that they refuse to see. And the thing that we as black people always see, but they got some of us who play like we didn't see what we saw. And my thing is, I'm going to say what I see, no matter who it offends. You know, I'm not standing for the wrong stuff, no matter what color it is. You know, wrong is wrong, right is right. We as human beings, we shouldn't have a color on nothing. Because I never saw a rich white man turn down some good black blood if it was the same type to live. But yet still, we have been, you know, from the media to sports to everything, we have been disgraced as this country's plague. But all black people have done was made this country better. And yet still, all we ask for is acknowledgement. And look, we don't need their acknowledgement. We got to put in ourselves that we belong to something and know what our ancestors done for this country. So when you're looking to be accepted by somebody else, you're losing your power. You're losing your acceptance. Because look, I don't care what color a person is. You respect me, I respect you. But as I've been looking at things, I mean, I see more black people doing more damage to black people. And we got to stop with that. And the only way we stop is to accept it. But then our Christian faiths and all this start to thinking and believing. You know, I don't knock, once again, I don't knock people's belief in their religion. But if you got a religion that's killing more people than anything, that is not a religion, that is a cult. You know, we blacklist black people, we blacklist everything that's not understood by them, and then we turn around and blacklist our own self. We got to stop with our rhetoric. You know, if you say something, do it. But mean it. You know, we send these so-called public servants as black people to the table to fight for our rights, and what they do? Come back and say the same thing the whites been saying for all our lives. And then we accept it because they black. When we gonna wake up? When we gonna understand? You know, politics don't make me. We make politics, because without us, there is no them. Yes, lovely wife, another question. Or comment.
Oh, another comment. Because I forgot that your show actually was supposed to be highlighting Malcolm X. And I know one of the things that he used to refer to white people as the white devil, although in his early years he tried to imitate the white devil. So that was something he learned as he was
Self-educating
I guess,
himself.
Life coming, how he was terrorized by white people. So, but it was basically because of the oppression that white people did to blacks, the oppression of blacks. But he also argued for black power and black self-defense and black
Unity.
economic autonomy, which you did address. But one of the things he did encourage too was racial pride, and I think that's what we're missing. Racial pride. Like, we don't have that same black pride anymore about ourselves. Our youth don't have that. They don't they don't value education. They don't value their greatness. They don't value honesty. And then even earlier when I addressed the neighborhood, they don't even value the next door neighbor, the elderly of their neighborhood. So we no longer have that racial pride, in my opinion.
And you're right. But the thing is, we as the adults supposed to show them and instill in them what we saw that our ancestors instilled in us. I mean, until we understand that what we came from to what we is today, this is unbelievable. You know, and like I said, no offense to white people, but I mean black people with the pressure and stress that they have overcome. It is a story in a story. You know, we came to this country as hostages. We was enslaved. Well, not us, our ancestors. We didn't even speak English. They taught us their language, but then they didn't want us to see the books of their knowledge. Oh, I hung up on you? I thought you was finished.
Yeah, you hung up on me. I still had something
Oh, okay, go ahead on.
That Malcolm X had said. When you made reference to our new leaders that are in office.
No, new public servant. I didn't say leaders, public servants.
They can only do as pass or get past as much as they have. But we do have to remember this. Nobody can give you freedom. Nobody can give you equality or justice or anything. If you're a man, as in a human,
take it.
you have to take it. And of course, you know that comes from Malcolm X.
Correct.
Well.
Correct.
Yes. Yes. And how do you take it in these United States? You vote.
You vote and you educate yourself with their knowledge.
You educate yourself. Mm-hmm.
Because that's what he said once. They messed up by showing him their education. And he understood it. And then started sharing it with other blacks who didn't understand the value of education.
Yes. So I have one more comment to make, because today at my office we were having this discussion about how in history we were taught in our
their history.
Books, yes, in our American history books we were taught that Martin Luther King was peaceful, Malcolm X was violent. And as I grew older and did my own research, he wasn't violent. He wasn't violent at all. Violence is what took place 2 weeks ago at the state capitol.
Violence was the lynching, too, they did to blacks.
That's right. They were violent against us, lynching us, hosing us with water hose. As a matter of fact, when my grandchildren were off Monday, I wanted to tell them, it's not a day off, it's a day on. Let me explain to y'all, because, the schools teach them minimal about Martin Luther King. So I found a video that would be age appropriate for them. But they still were terrorized when they saw. They were like, why they hose them with water hoses and let dogs bite them? Like that made them so afraid. And so I had to explain that to them. But my last Malcolm X quote is one of my favorites. Be peaceful. Be courteous. Obey the law. Respect everyone. But if someone puts his hands on you, you send him to the cemetery. Have a good show.
And thank you again. But everything my lovely wife just said, it's up to us to present and show, like taking the grandchildren on a walk to the past, letting them see what troubles is, letting them see what would have to hide your color from people that's put you down every day as not being humans. And today's so-called pure pressure that our children so-called go through, bring them to the history of our blacks and when it first came. I like to watch old black movies. Some people can't do it because they say it brings up memory. Memory of what? How ignorant these people were and still is today. When I see those things, I laugh. And today, when I hear people talking stupid, I laugh too, because I see the ignorance before they even try to show it to me. And if we don't instill in our children the values that they have come from, the values that they bring to this country, they won't do it because they don't understand themselves, because they're watching their kids, they're watching their friends, they're watching people of their age, their color, getting murdered by police officers. Yeah, and I know a lot of y'all saying, well, what about the black on black? Which is wrong too. But it's up to us as the adult to let them know right from wrong. Because if they don't show it, we won't see it. Hey, Brother Jay, I inspired you to call back, huh?
Yes, and I'm hoping it's not because I heard Miss Stephen call back.
No, man, no. Handle your business.
I want to take a somber turn and ask you a question to comment on, because this is so troubling. And I know others do not want to discuss it. We got an elephant in the room in the black community we have to discuss. That tragic situation, that happened in New Iberia this week with the two teenagers.
The gun shootout at the OK Corral.
And the opinion I want to get from you, and I'm going to hang up, is I come to the conclusion right now, we as a collective, whether we law enforcement, whether it's government, whether it's community, whether it's mom and pop, we don't have a immediate solution to take hold to this gun problem that is infecting our youth. I still say it's culture. It's a culture. We got some of those kids and whoever's influencing, or society is influencing them. But I'd like to get your opinion. But I don't think the brain trust in the black or the white community or mainstream society has an answer to what's going on with these young people. So I'm going to hang up and let you answer, my brother. Thank you so much.
All right, Jay. Look. The problem is we make so many excuses to white people being our problem. The first thing the average black will say, well, why the white man made the gun? Okay, just because they make the gun, that don't mean you got to use it against somebody of your culture. This is the thing that we got to understand and present to our people. Until we start respecting one another as human beings, no other culture will respect us. In some sense, I put myself in the cop's shoes, because I got a family. And if I got to go to a neighborhood where I know they're shooting one another, well, yes, I'm going back there with my gun out. But I'm going back there with respect, trying to really figure out what's going on. And it's up to us as blacks, no matter what neighborhood you come from, because we got some high-sedated black folks who wish bad on the poor black folk, not knowing they came from that same neighborhood or community that was called back then. Until we started directing these kids who are truly lost, because you got to understand in the early 90s, where I'm from in New Iberia, the DA office was putting a lot of these kids' dads and mom in jail for drug crimes. Not crime that was killing people, drug crimes. And when they captured the money and the material things, they didn't give it back to the neighborhood. They kept it and put it in their pockets. And then put more drugs out there for them to do more stupid things. But you got to understand the youngster's vision. They're coming up lost. No father, no parent. Sometimes the mama not even in their life. And then they're being adopted by a grandparent or aunt who doesn't have no vision of what they should do. So we got to come together and give these children sight. Even if you touch just one, you didn't help somebody. But guys, look, it's time for us to go in, and like I said, if you're not part of the solution, you are the problem. I mean, I appreciate the callers and everybody that viewed this, but share this. But we as people got to wake up and stay on these public servant, not leaders, public servant, from the president all the way down to our council member, to make sure they do what they're supposed to do. And that's the only way we get together. But make sure Biden give us our raise at $15 an hour and nothing changed, because that should have been in number one day being changed for it to get us $15, because Barack said the same thing 4 years ago and we never saw it.